Hey everybody, it's Annalise. I had a really fun week this week. It started off with a 4-day weekend because here, both at UCD and like their public holidays, or bank holidays, which I guess is slightly different, but both Good Friday and Easter Monday are holidays, so it was fun to have those days off. And so Easter Monday, my friend Sarah and I went on a trip with a tour group called Paddy Wagon Tours, and they did a very good job. Like, I would definitely recommend them. This is the only time I've traveled with them, but it was very good. And there's a student discount, which was really nice. But so we went on the trip they have to Cork, and so first we had to get there really early. I think we woke up at like 6 to make it to the bus on time, but then went first to the Rock of Cashel, which Sarah and I definitely did not do our research on it. We thought it was just going to be like a rock, but it's actually this big castle, and it was built around 1100, I think. At least that's what the oldest surviving piece of it is from, and that's like this big round tower part of it. But it was this castle and chapel site that was like the home of the kings of Munster for a very long time. Munster being the like southern province of Ireland. Like, Ireland's split into 4 provinces, and so Munster is the southern one. And it was also the home of the McCarthys, which were the kings of Desmond, which I just found funny since Desmond's my mom's maiden name. And her family's not from that county, but the one more south in Cork. So the Rock of Cashel was very pretty. They've restored a lot of the building, and so it was like very cool because I think it was struck by lightning a few decades ago, so they've had to do some restorations there, and then obviously just like wear and tear over the years. But they did a really good job of restoring it, and like right now they're in the process of they were taking all this plaster off when they discovered this painting of the crucifixion that they're now in the process of trying to restore, and it was just by chance that one of the builders noticed, like, oh, this looks like it might not just be plain plaster, like there might be something on this, and so it's, you know, this centuries old painting. And also, one of my favorite parts of it was hard to get a good picture of, but around the walls of the castle there's like basically a secret tunnel underneath the windows where people could get from, you know, one side of the castle if they see people invading to another without having to you know, actually like walk in front of the windows and potentially get hit by like arrows or whatever. So that was really cool. Like, it was just a very cool little tunnel system. So that was really cute, and that's in County Tipperary, which it was very sweet. The bus driver was from Tipperary, and he told us that, I haven't checked this, but he said that the name translates to heaven, and it is a very, very pretty county. And then after that we went to Blarney Castle, which was really cool. So the main thing that Sarah and I obviously wanted to do there was kiss the Blarney Stone, which, you know, if you kiss it, you're said to be given the gift of the gab for 7 years, like eloquent speech, because it's said that the king living in Blarney Castle at the time had sent 3,000 troops to a king in Scotland to fight the English, and when that king won, in thanks, he sent this stone that was supposed to be good luck to the king in Blarney Castle. And at first he thought it was like pretty useless, but then he had to go and talk to Queen Elizabeth to basically, she wanted him to pledge allegiance to the English, and he didn't want to do that, but he's going to be, you know, invaded if he didn't. And so someone suggested he kiss the stone and see what happens, and so he kissed it, and it gave him eloquent enough speech to basically, you know, like I say, like talk Blarney to the queen, to the point where afterwards she and her advisors were like, wait, did he actually pledge allegiance or not? Like, they weren't sure if he had or not, but he got away with it because, you know, they weren't sure he hadn't. He'd just done such a good job of, you know, making it sound like what he was saying was good, even though he wasn't pledging allegiance. But so it's actually we were surprised at how like narrow and tight the staircase to get up to Blarney Castle is. Like, it definitely is a little bit of a challenge getting up there. And then once you're there, you have to like lay back on this mat, and they have someone working there to help hold you, and you hold these bars behind you, and you have to lean way down to kiss it. And I was not expecting, like, I was not quite tall enough. I had to like really scoot back. But so hopefully now I have the gift of the gab. They did kiss it. And then the rest of the grounds of Blarney Castle are really gorgeous too. Like, there's this poison garden, which I think is like the coolest name for a garden ever, and just really gorgeous flowers and ponds and everything. It was a really pretty area. And there's also the Blarney Woolen Mills there, which is like the biggest all Irish origin department store. It's like 3 stories, just really anything you could imagine. They had all this like furniture and normal souvenirs, and I got some fun like Irish jewelry, so it was nice to be able to get some souvenirs there. And then we stopped, like our last stop was in Cork for about an hour and a half, and so we didn't really have time, and like we weren't there at the right time with the bank holiday, meaning that a lot of things were closed, to be able to do too much. So really we just walked around the main street and like explored that area. But I do like Cork. I think I prefer Dublin. I guess that's not entirely fair to say since we only spent 90 minutes in Cork. But Dublin, at least according to our tour guide, Dublin's around 1.5 million people. Cork is closer to like 240,000. And that definitely tracks. Like, it was a much smaller city. Even though Dublin itself I feel like is pretty walkable anyway, but Cork is definitely smaller. But the main street still very much felt like Grafton Street to me, like tons of shopping and lots of people, very lively. So I did like Cork, and it would be fun to go back at some point, but I'm glad that I picked Dublin as the place to study in instead of like University College Cork, since I think there's just a lot more to do in Dublin if you don't have a car. Yeah, and so then we got back later that night, and then this past week has been the last week of classes here, which is insane. I can't believe that, technically the semester's not over since there's still finals, but I can't believe classes are over already. It feels like I got here like 2 weeks ago. It's insane. But yeah, so we get this next week off to study, and then 2 weeks of finals start. So tomorrow is Sunday. I'm going to an Ed Sheeran concert with Sarah, and then we're going almost immediately to the airport to go to Lisbon with a bunch of our friends for a few days. And then after that, I guess I'll start studying, but it'll definitely be a little whirlwind of the next few days. But yeah, so I had a very good week this week. I hope everyone else did as well, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video.